All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of KOG TV. Thank you for joining me here. Now, around here, we are always into the retro. We eat and breathe retro around here. So today we are diving into the golden era. I'm talking about GoldenEye 007. And for those who grew up in the 90s, such as myself, this game was more than just a game. It was a way of life. It was you woke up and you played it, you went to sleep playing it, you eat, slept, and drank this game. It was ridiculous. But it was also a rite of passage. It defined what multiplayer games could be before online gaming took over. But here's the thing, GoldenEye isn't just a memory. It's still alive, competitive, and it's also having a moment right now. So we're about to check that out. You see, many people remember this couch co-op classic, complete with awkward peeks at each other's screen corners and those golden gun betrayals. There's an entire underground scene that never stopped playing, competing, and discovering new depths in a game that many thought and they considered it completely outdated. GoldenEye's competitive community today is sharper than ever. Whether it's speedrunners shaving off a tenth of a second with pixel perfect movements, or multiplayer pursuits turning vintage maps into digital battlegrounds, there's a vibrant world here that most modern gamers completely overlook. And with the recent re-release on the Xbox and Switch, there's been a fresh wave of entrants. Some are returning veterans, while others are new bloods eager to test their mettle in one of the most technically raw shooters ever made. But here's the deal. This isn't just about nostalgia. This is about skill. No aim assist, no cover mechanics, no respawn timers, just you, the weapon, and the map. So if you're a fan of speedrunning exploits or high stakes one-on-one, or just want to know how this game still commands such respect after all these years, we've got you covered. So let's go ahead and dive in and answer the question, what is really going on with the competitive scene in GoldenEye in 2025? Let's get into it. All right, now let's rewind back to 1997. The Nintendo 64 drops GoldenEye 007 on the world, and the landscape of console shooters changed forever. And this is before Halo LAN parties and Modern Warfare kill strikes. GoldenEye was it. But here's the crazy part. The roots of its competitive scene were already being planted back then. And since that, it's been growing, thriving, and evolving ever since. Alright, now sure, for the casual players, GoldenEye was all about slapping your friends with license to kill mode and then tossing a proxy mine in the facility bathroom while behind the scenes cheating and laughing. But a subset of players saw something else, man. They saw some potential there. Some serious potential. The speedrunning community started almost immediately. Players obsessed over mission times, crafting faster and faster routes, and breaking the game in ways Rare's devs probably didn't imagine. Doing these frame perfect tricks, shifting techniques, and glitch abuse. Every mission became a puzzle to be solved at lightning speed. But here's the thing that most people missed. GoldenEye's competitive heartbeat isn't just about the single player runs. A parallel scene emerged, treating the game like a true arena shooter. Now picture this. Custom rule set, precision-based one-on-one versus map control tactics, weapon dominant strategies. Now all of this without your first-person shooter design, no regeneration on health, no perks, no nothing, just pure fundamentals. Some of these players have been active for over 2 decades, forming clans, competing in invitation-only tournaments, and pushing themselves to the limits of reaction time and game knowledge. Entire metagames have evolved from the constraints of original Nintendo 64 cartridge, and as online play entered the picture years later, those boundaries have expanded even more. Now, GoldenEye isn't just some retro novelty. It's one of the most resilient competitive games ever made, and its history proves it. So if you thought the game peaked in the 90s, think again, because the grind never stops, the legends never die, they are still out there. Now, when people hear competitive GoldenEye, most instantly think of speedrunning, and that's rightfully so. This is one of the defining speedrunning games of all time. But if that is the end of your understanding on what GoldenEye has to offer in the scene of competition, then you're only seeing half the picture. Let's break it down. You got the speedrunners, the precision junkies, glitch scientists, the route optimizers. These players who have spent years and years breaking down every mission into a science. We're talking about players who restart missions hundreds of times just to get that one perfect shot. These guys measure success in frames and treat milliseconds like gold. These runs aren't casual YouTube uploads, these are battlefield reports. A single new world record can cause an earthquake in the scene. Strategies are dissected, techniques passed down. GoldenEye speedrunning is one of the longest running, most technically advanced communities in all of gaming. And it's still going strong. But let's flip it to the other side, because competitive multiplayer is a whole different beast. This is where the rules shift from beating the clock to beating your opponent. No AI, no checkpoints, just head-to-head straight skill. 1 versus 1 with customized rules, no odd jobs, no golding on a radar, pure map control, reaction timing, weapon knowledge. Come on now. This game rivals even modern shooters. And you have to earn every single kill. No sprinting away or bunny hopping, no quick scope. Every movement mattered. Strafing became an art form, ammo placement is a strategic decision, and if you're sloppy with your movements, you're done. Now, what makes GoldenEye special is how deep both sides go. Whether it's squeezing out a new WR on runway or outplaying someone in a 1v1 in archives. There is mastery in both. 2 styles, 1 game. And they both coexisted, challenged, and evolved each other over 2 decades. So the next time somebody says GoldenEye is a relic, show them the leaderboards or the 1v1 footage. Show them that this game never stopped evolving. Now let's be real, GoldenEye 007 was never built for the internet. Back in 1997, the idea of playing this game online was pure sci-fi. 4-player split screen on one TV was the limit, and that was lucky if you had 4 controllers that all worked. But here we are in the modern day 2025, and GoldenEye is now a fully functional online competitive experience. Yeah, you heard that right. And it's all due to emulation. Now, thanks to emulators like Project 64 combined with rollback netcode via Killera and other tools, GoldenEye has officially entered the online arena. We're talking buttery smooth mechanics that mimic the original experience while breaking the limits on geography. No more needing your friends to crowd around the same screen. You can now throw down with top players from Europe, Japan, and all across the United States of America in real time. And it's not just casual skirmishes anymore. This is serious business. Organized tournaments are being hosted on a regular, some with prize pools, others with ranking systems. There are Discord servers all over the place with seasoned players coaching newcomers, weekly matchup rotations, and full on seasons with rankings and stats. GoldenEye went from basement battles to a global bracket. What's even crazier, there's still reverence for the Nintendo 64 era purity. Many of these online matches still use the original rules, ban certain characters, and demand a level of sportsmanship that feels more like martial arts than video games. The honor code is real here. Now let's not forget the impact of the online revival. New blood has discovered the game, and they're discovering it every week. Some drawn by its nostalgia, others drawn by the challenge. The emulation experience might not be 100% identical to the cartridge, but it's close enough that the competitive scene has embraced it and even thrived. GoldenEye's leap into the online world just didn't extend its life, it gave it a second win. One that connects players around the world in ways the original devs never dreamed of. In the community, it's only growing. From couch co-op to crossplay continental, GoldenEye just powered up to Super Saiyan. Alright, now let's keep it real. GoldenEye isn't an easy game to master. In fact, by modern first-person shooter standards, it is downright brutal. So if you're thinking about diving into the competitive scene, there are a few things that you need to know before you step in. This isn't going to be like Call of Duty with your buttery smooth assist and gorgeous hitboxes. This is low poly war. GoldenEye doesn't play with you, it plays against you. Now let's talk mechanics first. The aiming system, rough. There's no crosshairs unless you manually aim, and even then the cursor floated like you were underwater or something. There's no auto aim bailout, no laser sight unless you get the laser sight gun, no ADS shortcuts. You've got to line up every shot yourself. With analog stick movements designed in the era where tube TVs were everywhere. Movement also unforgiving. No sprinting or sliding, just old school strafing back and forth. You better know how to do that at perfect angles, because that is the only way for you to move faster. The best players learn strafe running, a diagonal technique that increases speed, but requires constant directional discipline. You mess up once, you're out position and you are toast. And then there's the weapon balance. Some guns are hilariously overpowered. Shout out to the RCP-90. Others are just glorified squirt guns. Knowing when and where weapons spawn and how to control the map and get to them first is almost as important as your trigger finger. Add in health management, that's no regeneration, a lack of a modern HUD, awkward camera angles, widely inconsistent hit directions, and you've got a game that's not here to hold your hand. Alright, now here's the truth. This is what makes GoldenEye so rewarding. When you succeed in this environment, it's not because the game helped you. It's because you earned it. You learned its quirks and mastered its movements and outplayed someone in one of the hardest first-person shooter sandboxes ever made. And if you're looking for comfort, play something else. If you're looking to sharpen your skills and instincts and test your raw talent, step into GoldenEye's arena. Just don't expect it to be easy. Now you'd think a game released in 1997 wouldn't be making headlines nearly 3 decades later, but here we are. GoldenEye 007 is back in the spotlight, and not just in retro gaming circles. Thanks to the re-release on the Xbox and Nintendo Switch, a whole new wave of players are picking up that watch, the silencer, and stepping into Bond's shoes. But the return of the classic didn't come without its controversies. Here's what went down. Alright, now in early 2023, Rare and Nintendo dropped a surprise. GoldenEye is finally coming back. The Xbox version launched with a slick new control scheme, dual analog sticks, smoother aiming, and widescreen support. A dream come true for the modern player who grew up with a more fluid first-person shooter experience. Now, on the other hand, the Nintendo Switch version kept it old school. Same button schemes, same quirks, same feel as that Nintendo 64 back in the day. Now, some might think more options better, right? Not for everybody. Now, the competitive community immediately split down the middle. Some purists said, if you're not playing it on the original Nintendo 64 or at least replicating it perfectly, it's not real GoldenEye to them. They argued that the jank, stiff aiming, and the analog feel, that's all part of the skill curve. That's part of the game's identity. But then you have the other camp, the players who embrace the new control schemes. For them, the Xbox version is a long overdue modernization that finally makes the game more accessible without losing its soul. The maps are still tight, the weapons are highly unbalanced, the strategy is deep. It's just playable on today's consoles. Now let's not forget about the impact on viewership and content creation. With more people able to pick up GoldenEye and just stream it anywhere, we're seeing more speedrun races, we're seeing some deep dives, we're seeing all kinds of cool stuff come out of this. It's no longer just the veterans keeping the torch lit with this one. It is a mix of old school diehards and curious newcomers that are keeping this fire lit. Alright, now GoldenEye in the modern era is a living legend. This battleground between nostalgia and innovation collide. You gotta love it. This game is now active again. And that means more matches, more records, more community. And more chances for you to jump in there and make your mark. Old school game, new life, same legacy. So what does the future hold for GoldenEye 007? The gritty, janky, beautiful beast of a game? Is it just a nostalgia echo bouncing around the retro corners of the internet? Or is it something more? Something still alive? Alright, now let's start with the facts. Speedrunners are still crushing records. Some of these guys are getting millisecond improvements after years of effort. Now that's not a hobby, that's discipline. Now I can talk about the online tournaments. Those are growing. We got regular brackets, we got live stream, online matchups. The Discord community is also welcoming everybody from elite fraggers to curious first timers. In the recent re-release, they've done more than revive a classic. They've opened up the gates. Players that have never touched a Nintendo 64 are discovering the ruthless joy of GoldenEye competition. And guess what? Some of these guys are getting really good. The player base is exploding, new meta strategies are forming, the community, and it's more accessible and welcome than ever before. But let's be real. GoldenEye will never be mainstream like Valorant or Call of Duty, and that's okay. Because what GoldenEye offers is something different, something real. No frills, test the skill, strategy, and guts. It's one of the last competitive scenes where raw fundamentals still reign supreme. If you're watching this right now, here's the real question. What are you waiting for? If you love games that reward mastery over meta, if you crave a challenge that sharpens your instincts and humbles your ego, if you want to be a part of something that's authentic, something that's earned, then you need to jump into the world of competitive GoldenEye. All right, the scene's alive, the controller's in your hand, and the community is waiting. You guys should jump right on in there. And while you're at it, you should like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications, and go ahead and drop a comment of one of your GoldenEye war stories. We'd love to hear it. We'll discuss that later. Otherwise, this is KOG TV, where legends never retire. We reload. Stay 2L.